$86,400. What does it mean, and what does it mean to your business? I'm John Sanpetro, and on this episode of the Stamping is My Business podcast, we're going to talk about, among other things, $86,400. I'm going to tell you a little story and then tell you how it relates to your business and to the topic of this podcast. Okay, imagine that you had $86,400 and then someone took $10, leaving you with $85,380. Here's the question. If someone took that $10, leaving you with the $85,380 in your pocket, would you go after that person to try to get the $10 back? Now, if I asked 100 of you that particular question, probably 95, 96, 97 of you would say, no, it's not worth it. It was only $10. I still have $85,380. And you would be absolutely right. It wouldn't be worth it. Okay, so now instead of having $86,400 in your pocket, imagine, and you don't even have to imagine this because it's actually the case, that you have 86,400 seconds in your day. Now, I think you would all agree with me that time is far more valuable than money. And let's say that in the course of that day, somebody does something that upsets you. And in upsetting you, that person has taken 10 seconds of your time, leaving you with 85,380 seconds left. Would you waste any more seconds feeling bad about that, staying upset about that, pursuing that person? Now, if I were to ask 100 of you that question, the truth of the matter is that probably the majority, if not the vast majority of you, would say, yeah, if I'm being completely honest, I probably would. I probably would spend more time above and beyond that 10 seconds on the fact that this person upset me. So think about that. You already said that if you had $86,400 and someone took $10, you wouldn't waste any time going after that $10 because you still had the $85,380 left. But at the same time, you also are probably admitting to yourself that if you had, and you do, 86,400 seconds, and someone took 10 seconds of that time, that you would actually waste many, many more seconds on being upset. Even though the time is so much more valuable than the money. And this is the topic of this podcast, valuing your time. Because so many stamping business owners truly fail to do that. The truth is, many stamping business owners waste their time. They don't value their time the way they should. And because you only have a finite amount of time in your business and in your life, when you shortchange the value of that time, you are shortchanging your business and you are shortchanging yourself. One of the ways that we do that is by letting someone who upsets us for 10 seconds consume all of the other seconds of our day because we can't let it go. And they become a much bigger problem than they were when they just upset us for those 10 seconds. They become a thief of our time. We don't value our time in the different things that we do and how much we charge for that time. And if you're not charging a premium for the limited amount of time that you have, you will never get to the full potential of your business. It just won't work. Another great story that I love to tell, guy walks into a dentist's office. He is in terrible, terrible pain, just awful pain. And he gets in the dentist chair. dentist takes a look in his mouth and says, yeah, I mean, you've got a pretty bad cavity here. It's probably too late to do a filling. We're going to have to pull it out. We're going to do an extraction. And the guy says, well, how much is that going to cost? And the dentist says, well, that's going to cost $500. Well, how long will that take? The guy says, well, it'll probably take about 20 to 30 minutes. And the guy says, $500 for 20 to 30 minutes? Man, that seems really expensive. And the dentist says, well, if you'd like, I can make it take longer. And again, it's a great example of how you value your time. Because he is not charging based on how long it's going to take. He's charging for all of the time he put in to learn how to take the tooth out that quickly. There's a story, I don't know if it's true or not, about Picasso, the painter. Someone came upon Picasso, and Picasso was, I want to say he was doodling on a napkin in the park. And he did a quick doodle, and somebody asked, can I purchase that from you? And Picasso said, sure, that will be, $5,000. I'm not sure what the amount was, but it was something quite expensive. And the person says, $5,000 for a doodle on a napkin that took you 2 minutes to do? That seems terribly unfair. And Picasso says, you're not paying for the 2 minutes it took me to put this art on the napkin. You're paying for the 50 years it took me to learn this art. And there are stories like this all the time, but, it's nice to have little anecdotes about a dentist or Picasso. But the truth is, you can probably find more than enough anecdotes in your own life and in your own business. Times when you have undervalued your time. When you have undervalued yourself. And because of that, when you have shortchanged your business. I always say the only finite thing in your business, the only finite thing in your life is time. You can pretty much get more of anything else if you want it bad enough and if you try hard enough. But it doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter how bad you want it. You will never get more time. There are only 24 hours in a day. There are only 86,400 seconds in that day. And if you're not using every one of them to their fullest potential, then reaching the fullest potential in your life and in your business becomes very, very difficult. So the next time someone comes along and upsets you, I want you to think about this podcast. I want you to think about what we've talked about today. And I want you to remember that the sooner you're able to let it go, the more time you're going to have. The next time that you have to price a product or a service that you're offering, I want you to remember that even if it only takes you a few minutes to get it out there, to do it, they're not paying for those few minutes. They're paying for all of that time that you put into learning how to do it in just a few minutes. When you begin to value your time at what it's actually worth, that's when your business is also going to make what it is actually worth. If you enjoyed this episode of the Stamping is My Business podcast, please feel free to like it, share it, subscribe to it, and listen to more. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, our website, stampingismybusiness.com, and on our Facebook page, facebook.com/stampingismybusiness. If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, please email them to me at john@stampingismybusiness.com. This is John San Pietro, and I'm just trying to get you paid.